Welcome to 1337. Welcome to the future.
Welcome to 1337, the future of podcasts on the human element. I'm Max, your guide to understanding human behavior.
And I'm Sophia, here to explore the depths of the human psyche with you.
So today, we've got quite the collection of moon mysteries, haven't we?
We certainly have. We're diving into claims about, unusual structures, maybe even alien visitors on the moon.
Yeah, all pulled from some pretty interesting YouTube documentary transcripts. We're looking at stuff from absolute documentaries, history, Voyager,
And even Brightside Universe, which touches on that whole hollow moon idea. Bit out there, that one.
a little bit. Like, we know you're curious, you want the intriguing stuff fast, but without getting bogged down, right?
Exactly. So our mission today, sift through these claims, pull out the really compelling bits,
Lay out the counter-arguments, the more conventional explanations,
and leave you with some things to think about. Maybe a chuckle or two along the way.
without needing a degree in astrophysics to follow along. Okay, let's jump right in. Ancient structures, Apollo missions, this is the juicy stuff.
Absolute documentaries really start strong, doesn't it? Alleging Apollo astronauts actually saw parked alien ships.
Right. The claim is Armstrong switched to the medical channel to report it privately.
The quote they use is something like, "They're here, they're parked on the side of the crater."
They're watching us. I mean, wow. First time on the moon, and that's what you see.
It's an incredible story, isn't it? Taps right into that desire for a huge, dramatic narrative. First contact, right there.
But the evidence, just anecdotal accounts of secret conversations.
Pretty much. Without verifiable audio, without any official confirmation, it's a compelling story. Remains just a story, though.
Okay, then there's more from the same source. Photos taken by Apollo astronauts.
Right, showing supposedly gigantic artificial-looking structures.
Things that look like, nuclear power plants,
The-
satellite dishes, even an alien fortress, which I love.
And the punchline. Experts couldn't definitively say what these things were.
Shocking, I know. Blurry photos from space, hard to identify. Who knew?
Well, it plays into how we see patterns, doesn't it? Our brains want to find familiar shapes in ambiguous images.
Especially with the harsh lighting and shadows up there.
Exactly. You see a weird shadow, someone suggests fortress, and suddenly your imagination fills in the blanks. Without proper context, scale. It's just speculation.
Then we get the Apollo 20 story. A supposed secret mission after the program ended.
Yeah, the one claiming they went back to recover a female alien.
Seriously? Where'd they find her taking a moon bath?
Huh. Look, the Apollo 20 narrative is a classic internet legend. Shaky videos, unverifiable testimony. It grabs people.
But actual proof. Corroboration.
Let's just say the evidence trail goes cold very, very quickly. Pretty much consensus. Fiction.
All right, switching channels, so to speak. History talks about Lunar Orbiter 2 images. From 66, even before Apollo 11.
Yes, showing shadows in the Sea of Tranquility near where Apollo 11 eventually landed.
And these weren't just any shadows, they looked like pointed spires. Tall ones.
Calculated at maybe 15 stories high, resembling Egyptian obelisks, apparently.
Obelisks on the moon. Okay. That's ambitious architecture.
Or perhaps just tricky shadows on a very uneven surface, right? Estimating height from shadows alone is notoriously difficult.
Depends on the sun angle, the terrain.
Yeah,
Yeah. Could just be a pointy rock catching the light funny.
precisely. A unique boulder can look very different depending on how the light hits it.
And history also hints that Buzz Aldrin turning on the side radar on the lander was suspicious.
Like he knew something was there, like he was pre-briefed on anomalies.
Yeah, better scan for those obelisks, just like they said in the meeting.
Or, maybe he was using the radar to land safely.
Radical idea, I know. Altitude, velocity, terrain mapping seems kind of important when landing on the moon.
Attributing it purely to scanning for alien artifacts seems like a bit of a stretch, assumes a huge conspiracy based on using standard landing equipment.
Speaking of conspiracies, they also brought up that Brookings Institute report from 1960.
Ah, yes, the report discussing how society might react to discovering alien life.
And the suggestion is that this led to a decision to hide any findings, to avoid mass panic. The old cover-up trope.
Right. But the report was speculative, a what if, not a secret directive. The idea of a perfect, decades-long cover-up involving thousands of people.
Especially now, with leaks and the internet. Seems unlikely, doesn't it?
Extremely unlikely. Governments are cautious, sure, but a flawless, multi-decade conspiracy of that scale, highly improbable.
But then Absolute Documentaries throws in those cryptic Neil Armstrong comments from 94.
At the White House, something about removing one of truth's protective layers.
And places to go beyond belief. Sounds like he was hinting at something big.
Or maybe he was just being philosophical about human achievement and the future of exploration. Cryptic comments are great fuel for speculation because they're so open-ended.
Fair point. It's easy to read aliens into vague statements after the fact.
It fits the narrative we might want to believe rather than reflecting concrete evidence.
And the last bit on this, Donna Hare's claim. NASA airbrushing photos.
Yeah, the testimony about deliberately removing evidence of alien activity, like hovering craft or technology not related to us. Cosmic censorship.
That's a serious charge. How credible is it?
Well, claims of image tampering pop up a lot in these discussions, but interpreting old, often low-res photos is subjective. Is it an alien craft or an image artifact, a light flare, a natural feature?
Without multiple sources, clear before and afters, it's hard to prove deliberate tampering on a grand scale.
Exactly. You'd need significant, independent corroboration.
So wrapping up this first section, lots of intriguing claims from the Apollo era, but mostly based on interpreting shadows, blurry images, and maybe some wishful thinking.
I think that's a fair summary. It's fascinating stuff, great for what-if scenarios, but we need to stay grounded in verifiable evidence and consider the more mundane explanations first.
Okay, let's move on to other unusual objects and phenomena, more from Absolute Documentaries. First up, Google Moon image.
Yeah, a triangular shape with lights, instantly labeled an alien base, naturally.
I'm picturing little green men trying to navigate Google's mapping algorithms.
Well, digital maps can have glitches, right? Low resolution, rendering errors. They can create weird patterns.
So probably not an alien command center.
Without the original high-res data, it's impossible to say for sure, but digital artifact or misinterpretation is far more likely.
Then there was that image, supposedly from China's Chang'e orbiter.
Which turned out to be an old NASA photo. That showed some kind of facility or outpost.
Yeah, with straight lines and angles.
Yeah.
Looked artificial. The fact it was misattributed is just chef's kiss.
It really shows how fast misinformation can spread, especially if it fits a narrative. But even looking at the image itself...
Straight lines can happen naturally, right? Geologically?
They can. Fault lines. Certain types of lava flows viewed from orbit. They can look surprisingly regular. Doesn't automatically mean built.
And we can't forget Mars. Curiosity rover saw a puzzling bright light.
And there was the alleged alien face again. Remember the Viking orbiter face on Mars?
Oh yeah, the giant rock formation that looked like a face because of the lighting. Pareidolia strikes again.
Exactly. Our brains are hardwired to see faces and familiar patterns. As for the light Curiosity saw, could be a reflection off a rock, sunlight hitting the rover, even a cosmic ray hitting the sensor. Lots of possibilities before aliens.
Okay, back to the moon. Apollo 16, Mare Crisium. Big claims here.
A castle wall, a platform, some kind of power-type object.
Like a cooling tower. Or another fortress. This one's supposedly a mile wide.
A mile-wide structure. That scale alone should make us skeptical. That's enormous.
You'd think we'd have more evidence than one photo if something that big was up there.
Precisely. Again, likely misinterpretation of large, natural geological features under specific lighting.
Apollo 16 again. Long, deep tracks in the dust. Not rover tracks, apparently.
Unknown objects leaving tracks, one supposedly moved out of a crater.
Alien joyride. Or maybe boulders rolling downhill after an impact.
Meteoroid impacts cause ejecta and can dislodge rocks, which can roll and leave tracks. That's a known process. We need to roll that out first.
Then Apollo 14, footage of 5 domes with internal lights and steam.
And then the footage allegedly disappeared or was altered in later viewings.
Vanishing domes. Okay. Sounds convenient.
Claims of missing or altered footage are incredibly difficult to verify without the original, unaltered source material and provenance. Could be misidentification, artifacts, anything.
And the big one. Apollo 11 photo. A gigantic flying saucer just sitting there on the surface.
With artificial-looking ridges, the claim goes, and Buzz Aldrin apparently refuses to comment on it.
Which, of course, fuels the mystery. But if you saw a giant saucer, wouldn't you maybe mention it?
You'd think. His silence could mean anything. Maybe he doesn't remember that specific photo out of thousands. Maybe he thinks the interpretation is silly. It doesn't automatically mean conspiracy.
What about Kepler crater?
Yeah.
Lunar Orbiter 3 photo supposedly shows it looking like a strip mine.
Sheared rim, rubble, a big white rectangular slab. Very industrial looking.
But then a later NASA photo shows it looking normal. Pristine.
That discrepancy is interesting. Could be lighting differences, different processing, different angles making features look starker in one image than another, or natural changes like landslides altering the appearance over time.
Okay, Apollo 8 footage. A smokestack, over 1,000 feet tall.
Releasing a jet or cloud, connected possibly to helium-3 mining operations.
The moon's secret industrial zone.
Highly speculative. Could be outgassing, dust from a small impact, a camera artifact. Seeing smokestack requires quite an interpretative leap. Helium-3 mining is still theoretical, not actively happening on that scale.
We've also got a JPL image, a pipe running through a crater.
With a funnel shape pointing out. Potential thermal vent, maybe.
Or a partially collapsed lava tube, a natural channel.
Much more likely. Linear features aren't uncommon. Interpreting it as plumbing is probably projecting Earth-based ideas onto lunar geology.
And lastly, sinus media. A tower sticking up.
With a wire assembly, reflecting light weirdly. Lunar cell tower.
Or a tall, thin rock formation, casting a weird shadow or catching the sun.
Without more data, different angles, higher resolution, it's hard to say definitively, but natural explanations are usually more plausible.
Okay, that was a whirlwind tour of lunar oddities. So many weird shapes and shadows up there.
It definitely highlights how alien and complex the lunar surface is and how easy it is to see things that might not be there. Critical thinking is key.
Right. Let's shift gears to theory. Bright side universe and the hollow moon idea.
Based on the moon being less dense than Earth, and the claim it rang like a bell after the Apollo seismic experiments.
Like hitting a gong.
But science says the lower density is because the moon lacks a large iron core like Earth's. Its composition explains its overall density perfectly well.
And the ringing.
The seismic waves did propagate differently, lasting longer than on Earth, but that's now attributed to the moon's dry, fractured rock layers. There's no water to dampen the vibrations like here. It doesn't mean it's hollow.
Okay, makes sense. What about the eclipse thing? Asimov's point about the sun and moon fitting almost perfectly in the sky.
Some use that as evidence of artificial placement. It is a remarkable coincidence.
But is it proof of anything?
Astronomers point out the fit isn't actually perfect, and their apparent sizes vary due to elliptical orbits. It's a neat quirk of geometry. Their vast difference in actual size and distance just happens to create this visual effect from Earth, not seen as evidence of design.
And the eerie music the Apollo 10 crew heard on the far side. Spooky.
Turned out to be interference between the radios on the lunar module and the command module, a known technical phenomenon, especially when out of contact with Earth. No alien broadcast.
What about the difference between the near and far sides? Near side is smoother with the dark Maria.
And the far side is thicker crusted, heavily cratered. It does look unbalanced.
Any reason for that?
The leading theory now involves a massive impact early in the moon's history, possibly with a dwarf planet. That could have redistributed material, thinned the near-side crust, and created the huge South Pole Aitken Basin on the far side.
And we now know there's water ice up there. That's definitely real.
Absolutely. Found in permanently shadowed craters, even trapped in volcanic glass beads. A huge discovery.
Game changer for future exploration, right? Water, oxygen, maybe even rocket fuel.
Precisely. Makes establishing a long-term presence much more feasible.
So it seems even the weirdest lunar facts often have pretty solid scientific explanations, even if we didn't figure them out immediately.
That's the process of science, isn't it? Exploring anomalies, gathering data, developing and testing theories. The key is sticking to the evidence.
Okay, let's bring it up to the present. China's lunar program, via the Voyager transcript. They're making big moves.
They really are. The Chang'e program has been incredibly successful. Landing on the far side with Chang'e 4 was historic.
And Chang'e 5 brought back samples. Now Chang'e 6 from the South Pole. Plus, they're talking a permanent base by the 2030s.
It signals a very serious long-term commitment to lunar exploration and potential resource utilization. They're not just visiting.
And they found a new mineral. Chang'e.
Yes, Chang'e. Why? A phosphate mineral found in the samples returned by Chang'e 5. Discovering new minerals always adds pieces to the puzzle of planetary formation.
They also detected magnetic field anomalies, suggesting the moon isn't totally dead inside.
It challenges the simple geologically dead picture. It doesn't have a global field like Earth, but localized magnetic remnants hint at a more complex history, maybe past dynamo activity in its core. Still lots to learn.
And the big news. finding high concentrations of hydrogen at the South Pole.
Which strongly indicates significant deposits of water ice. That's the potential jackpot for future lunar activities.
Water for astronauts, oxygen to breathe, hydrogen and oxygen for rocket fuel.
Right.
It really enables that permanent base idea.
Exactly. It transforms the moon from just a destination into a potential resource hub and staging point.
Naturally, this has caused a stir. Talk of a new space race between the U.S. and China.
There's definitely renewed geopolitical interest in the moon, focused on securing access to potential resources like helium-3, rare earth metals, and that water ice.
Concerns about a lunar land grab. Even with the Outer Space Treaty saying space is for everyone.
The treaty prevents national appropriation, but how it applies to resource extraction by private companies or national missions is, well, it's a hot topic for space lawyers and policymakers. We need clearer rules.
And the potential payoff. $1 trillion lunar economy.
That's the long-term vision some people have. Resource extraction, maybe manufacturing using lunar materials, tourism, a gateway to Mars. It could be huge eventually.
So the focus has really shifted, hasn't it? From maybe aliens in the 60s and 70s to actual resources and geopolitics now.
It reflects our advancing capabilities and changing priorities. The moon is becoming a place of tangible interest, not just wonder.
Okay, just one quick look back. Apollo 20 again. The Mona Lisa alien mummy.
Recovered from that giant cigar-shaped object, supposedly seen in an Apollo 15 photo, the Rutledge videos.
Yeah, that whole story. Third eye, links to Earth cultures. It's memorable, I'll give it that.
Memorable, yes. Credible. As we said, it lacks verifiable evidence and is widely considered a hoax. Fascinating fiction, but fiction nonetheless.
Right. So wrapping all this up, from grainy photos and strange shadows in the Apollo era,
Right.
to complex theories like the hollow moon, and now the very real discoveries and ambitions of China. It makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
What if the moon isn't just this? Dead rock. What if it's more central somehow? A key piece in a bigger puzzle we're only starting to see.
What would that imply about our history, our place in the cosmos?
Exactly. It's a pretty profound thought to end on. Makes you look up at the moon a little differently.
That's the enduring power of lunar mysteries, isn't it? Whether the explanations are mundane or extraordinary, the moon keeps pulling us in, making us ask questions.
Well, we have certainly covered a lot of lunar ground today. From those early whispers of alien structures to the very current race for resources, a real journey through claims, counterclaims, and discoveries.
It has been quite the deep dive, Max, and for everyone listening, we really hope this sparks your own curiosity. Keep exploring, keep questioning.
Check the evidence, consider all sides, and keep thinking critically about our universe and our place in it.
The moon, it seems, still has plenty of secrets to share.
For more deep dives into the human element and the universe around us, please visit 1337podcast.com for more.
Strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thank you for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337podcast.com.